Hello to you, Mark Hall here, and welcome to your weekly update on the fine wine market this Thursday, the 20th of December. Okay, to kick things off, a bit of gloomy news from the major auction houses this week as they reported a 19% drop in sales revenue for 2012, according to a report on Bloomberg. However, it isn't quite as bad as it seems because the drop in revenue does come on the back of record figures that were produced in 2011, which is where the fall is being compared against. So let's put things in perspective. In 2011, $397 million were raised, and in 2012 that figure has fallen to $322 million, which in the current climate is actually pretty good going. Also, things can't be that bad when you consider that in the last week or so, Christie's of London held an auction that raised nearly £4.2 million. Apparently that's a new world record for wine auctions in London. Now, to take you back 6 or 7 days, last week we reported the Clos Forte 2000 and how it had increased by 76% in the last 12 months. Well, we've been doing a little bit of research here and found one that can beat that. The Clos Forte 2009 sold on LiveX on the 10th of February of this year for £675 per case. Today, there's a bid on LiveX for £1,700 a case. This equates to a price rise of in excess of 150% over a 9-month period. I mention this because when you buy and sell your wines using our trading platform, you can take advantage of these short to medium term price rises because the exit route is immediate. When you wish to sell your wine, you simply hit the sell button next to the wine in your client portfolio area and the job is done. To find out a little bit more about that, just visit www.astonlovell.com or call us on 0208 858 9990. In other news, LiveX wrote an interesting piece this week about transparency in the marketplace. Now, basically before LiveX came along, transactions in the wine trade, with the possible exception of Omprema, were impossible to compare because every company in the market had different terms of trade. As they point out, we still see this in the auction market where the terms of trade as well as fees paid are unique to each lot sold. This makes it almost impossible to have uniform pricing across the board. Actually, it's not only an issue for the auction market. If you were to ask merchants and brokers for quotes on exactly the same case of wine, I'm sure you'd get a number of different answers from each one. So try it and see. By contrast, every trade on LiveX takes place on standard set of conditions and delivery rules. As a result, their transaction prices are truly like for like. Now, by standardizing these terms of trade, LiveX has contributed to making the fine wine market both transparent, more efficient, and certainly more safe. And the Aston Lovell trading platform operates by the same rules. You can buy and sell using our platform at the LiveX prices. Now, the last week has produced some interesting figures. First, the ratio of bids to offers on the LiveX has risen to a 6-month high of 58%. Second, the first growths accounted for 50% of weekly trade by value for the first time since August of this year. And third, the LiveX 50 reached 299.51. Now, this is the closest it's been to the 300 level since the 1st of October. We've also seen a flurry of trade for the off-vintage first growths. The appetite for lesser Lafite vintages that we're starting to see in November has filtered through to the rest of the first growths here in December. For example, trade by value for recent off-vintage Margaux is currently 6 times that for the on-vintage Margaux. Also, so far in December, the acclaimed 2009s continue to lead the pack for first growth trade by value, but it's the less extolled 2004s that have counted for the highest trade by volume. Now, moving on to the 2012 vintage, the next en primeur. Chateau Yquem announced this week that it pulled out of making their world famous wine because the vintage failed a post-harvest taste test. Now, the good people at Yquem are known to be rigorous with their quality control, but this is the first time in 20 years that the Chateau has made this call. So, does this mean that prices on back vintages may be increasing? Well, maybe not, but it will be interesting to watch these prices over the next year. especially now that there's going to be this gap in production and supply. Now, to finish off, there was an interesting article in the FT Advisor this week which discussed the pros and cons of wine investment. Now, according to the FT, the market has generated an annualized return of 12.1% since reliable data first became available in 1988. There are some other interesting nuggets in the article though. One, if you were to take every 5-year period since 1988, wine has shown a negative return in just one of those periods with a loss of 1.1%. By contrast, the FTSE 100 has seen 72 negative periods, with the worst being a loss of 39% over the same period. Now, as we know, the last 12 months have seen the wine market take a bit of a battering, but as the FT points out, the current position could be an opportunity to, and I quote, exploit the market's solid underlying returns combined with unusually favourable starting positions. In short, it is potentially the best time to enter the market since 2009. So with that to chew over, we would like to wish everyone a very Merry Christmas. And if you would like to get in touch with us, please visit www.astonlovell.com or call us on 0208 858 9990 and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have for us. I look forward to seeing you in the new year.